You're enjoying the peaceful morning silence while grazing your sheep, thinking this is just another gloriously predictable day in your wonderfully simple life. Until a strange buzzing sound comes from the sky that definitely wasn't in your morning plans. Looking up, you catch your breath and immediately regret it. Something metallic, shining, and completely alien hovers in the air above, looking like it escaped from someone's science fiction nightmare. Red lights blink on and off, watching you with what you can only assume is electronic judgment. You're 23, an Amish young man whose biggest technological achievement is successfully hitching a horse to a buggy. And now, something from the future is apparently making a documentary about your boring life. Your name is Samuel, though right now you're wishing it was Invisible Man. You work on your father's farm, live a perfectly simple life, and when it comes to technology, the most advanced thing you can imagine is a horse-drawn buggy with extra comfortable seats. But this flying contraption hovering before you like some kind of mechanical vulture is rudely opening a door to a universe that your simple brain was definitely not prepared to handle. The drone slowly descends with all the confidence of something that clearly doesn't care about your personal space, and you're frozen in place like the world's most confused statue. The machine lands just 10 feet away from you, because apparently respecting personal boundaries isn't programmed into this thing. The motor sound feels like it's personally auditioning to burst your eardrums. The sheep, being far smarter than you, panic and scatter like they've just received a memo about an incoming apocalypse. But you? You can't move a muscle standing there like nature's own scarecrow, except significantly less useful. As the drone studies you with its creepy electronic eye, it feels like it's trying to read your very soul and probably finding it disappointingly simple. You raise your shepherd's staff in what you hope looks threatening, but let's be honest, you're basically bringing a stick to a robot fight. Anyone facing such a bizarre moment wouldn't know what to do either, though most people don't usually consider challenging UFOs to a stick fight. Suddenly, the drone rises and starts flying toward the village, apparently deciding you're not worth its precious time anymore. You chase after it in a panic because clearly your brilliant plan is to outrun a flying machine while wearing zero shoes. "Hey, wait!" you shout breathlessly, as if the drone is going to suddenly develop manners and stop for a polite conversation. Your bare feet leave muddy tracks in the dirt as you run out of breath faster than a three-legged horse in a race. When you reach the village, neighbor Aaron is standing at his door, looking like he's witnessing his first circus act. "Samuel, why are you running like the devil himself is chasing you?" he asks with the kind of bewilderment usually reserved for watching someone try to milk a bull. You point upward dramatically, still panting like an overworked dog. "That flying thing, did you see it? It was right there." Aaron squints at the sky with all the intensity of someone trying to spot a unicorn. Nothing there, naturally. The drone has vanished into thin air, probably off to terrorize some other unsuspecting farmer. "What flying thing, Samuel? You mean like a bird?" "It was like a robot. It was flying and watching me like some kind of mechanical stalker." Aaron stares at you with the exact expression people reserve for relatives who claim they can talk to their dead grandmother. "Are you feeling all right? Maybe the sun fried your brain. You should definitely rest." In moments like these, you feel about as smart as a wooden spoon trying to cut bread. When you get home, you try explaining the whole bizarre episode to your father, hoping he'll be more understanding than Aaron was. Jacob listens with the patient expression of a man who's clearly wondering if his son has been eating questionable mushrooms, then places his hand on your forehead like you're a toddler with a fever. "Son, maybe it's heat stroke. Your brain might be cooking like Sunday dinner. Go rest in the shade before you start seeing pink elephants too." "Dad, no, it was real. I'm not hallucinating." "Samuel, we don't have flying machines around here. The most advanced thing in our village is Wilhelm's fancy butter churner. You must have been seeing things, probably a very confused bird." At dinner, your brother David looks at you with the kind of curiosity cats have right before they knock something expensive off a table. He's 16 with eyes that always sparkle with the dangerous kind of interest that gets people into trouble. You secretly tell him everything, hoping he won't think you've completely lost your marbles. "Was it really flying?" he whispers like he's asking about buried treasure. "I swear it on my best hat, David. Just like a bird, but made of metal and blinking with more lights than a fancy Christmas display." David's eyes light up like someone just told him the chores were canceled forever. "I want to see it too. This sounds way more exciting than watching grass grow." The next morning, David comes with you to the pastures, armed with the kind of enthusiasm usually reserved for treasure hunts. You both keep scanning the sky like amateur astronomers looking for shooting stars, except you're hoping for something significantly more mechanical. Hours pass with all the excitement of watching paint dry in slow motion. David starts getting bored, which for a 16-year-old is roughly equivalent to torture. Maybe you were just imagining things, Samuel. Maybe it was a really big, shiny bird having an identity crisis. Just then, that familiar buzzing starts again, sounding like the world's angriest bee decided to learn how to fly properly. You both look up with the kind of synchronization that would make a dance troupe jealous. There it is. The drone is back, apparently deciding your little corner of nowhere is worth a return visit. David, do you see it, or am I still crazy? Yes, this is absolutely incredible. It's like something from those stories about the outside world. This time, the drone comes even closer, hovering above you with all the confidence of something that owns the place. It settles right above you both, and David stands there with his eyes wide as dinner plates, and his mouth hanging open like he's trying to catch flies. What in heaven's name is that thing, Samuel? I have absolutely no idea, but at least now I know I'm not completely insane. Suddenly, a small package drops from beneath the drone like it's some kind of mechanical stork making a very unusual delivery. A paper falls out, floating down like the world's strangest love letter. There's English writing on it, which around here is about as common as flying pigs. David tries to peer over your shoulder with the subtlety of a bull in a china shop. What does it say? Is it instructions for world domination? You squint at the foreign letters. Hello, curious friends. This is called a drone. Technology can be wonderful. You look at each other with expressions that suggest your brains are working overtime trying to process this information. Is this message specifically for you two? Of course it is. It's not like there's anyone else standing around in the middle of a field looking completely bewildered. As the drone flies away after its generous gift-giving session, David shouts with the excitement of someone who just discovered buried treasure. Samuel, this absolutely has to be our secret. Nobody would believe this anyway. Yes, but unfortunately, neighbor Martha has the timing of a hawk and the curiosity of a cat. She comes speed-walking over with the determination of someone who smells gossip from a mile away. Boys, what are you doing out here looking like you've just seen ghosts? Nothing at all, Aunt Martha, David says with the kind of innocent expression that immediately makes adults suspicious. But Martha's eyes zero in on the package lying on the ground like a bloodhound spotting a trail. She picks it up and examines it with the intensity of a detective solving a murder case. What on earth is this peculiar thing? You and David exchange the kind of panicked glances that clearly scream, "We're in trouble now." A bird must have dropped it, David says hastily, apparently deciding that lying about wildlife postal services is his best option. Martha frowns. A bird? This is strange. She pockets it and leaves. That evening, gossip starts spreading. Martha tells everyone about the package. Strange writing on it. Something in English. When the elders gather, tension builds. Could be the devil's work, says Daniel. Things from outside never bring good. The next day, the drone comes again, but this time it circles the village center like a mechanical vulture, surveying its territory. Everyone comes outside to look, creating quite the gathering of confused faces. Old Ruth screams with the dramatic flair of someone announcing the apocalypse. The devil has come to steal our souls. Chaos erupts faster than spilled milk on a clean floor. Women flee to their houses like they're escaping a tornado. Men start chasing the drone with sticks and hoes, looking like the world's most ridiculous army going to battle. But the drone is too fast and too smart. Of course, chasing a flying machine with farm tools is about as effective as trying to catch lightning with a butterfly net. But it's all they know how to do. Your heart pounds wildly in moments like these, like a drum being beaten by an overly enthusiastic child. The drone zigzags over rooftops like it's playing an elaborate game of aerial tag. Dogs bark frantically. Chickens scatter with their feathers flying everywhere, creating complete pandemonium that would make a three-ring circus look organized. Aaron swings his stick while shouting with the fury of a man who's had enough. Come down here right now, you cursed mechanical beast. But the drone has absolutely no intention of landing. It seems to be enjoying this game immensely, probably having the time of its electronic life. You and David watch from a safe distance, struggling not to burst into laughter at the absurd spectacle. "Samuel, the villagers have completely lost their minds," David whispers with barely contained amusement. "I can see that. But honestly, the drone looks completely harmless. It's just playing." Suddenly, the drone swoops down and grabs Wilhelm's freshly washed laundry right off the line. Socks and shirts go flying through the air like confetti at the world's strangest parade. Wilhelm's wife immediately has a fit of complete hysteria, as if her undergarments have been kidnapped. My laundry is flying away!" The men run with more fury, but the drone plays with them. It dips and rises, dodging left and right. It's making fun of them. Must be having lots of fun. These chaotic situations wear on nerves. Finally, the drone drops the laundry and rises. But this time, it grabs Jacob's hat. Your father's hat dances in the sky. "My hat!" your father shouts. Now it's impossible not to laugh. You both start giggling like school children. When the drone drops the hat too, villagers are gasping. Everyone looks at each other. "What was that?" says Wilhelm. "Devil's work," says Daniel with confidence. "Definitely devil's work." Martha pulls out the package dramatically. "This has something to do with it. The boys were hanging around here acting suspicious." Eyes turn to you and David. You're both sweating. "Samuel, David, come here," your father says sternly. You approach like defendants walking to trial. The villagers surround you. "Where did you find this package?" Martha demands. David and you look at each other in panic. You take a deep breath. "It fell from the sky," you finally say. Everyone gasps. "From the sky?" "Yes, that flying thing dropped it." The elders look at each other. "What flying thing?" They're acting like nothing just happened. You try to explain. The villagers look at you like you've said something very strange. "Samuel, you must be sick," says Daniel. "Such things don't happen." "They don't happen, but it did," you say firmly. At that moment, a car engine rumbles from distance. Everyone turns. A car with two men enters the village. The men get out and approach. One has strange devices. "Hello, we're drone pilots," one says. "Have you seen our missing device?" The villagers look confused. You step forward. "Yes, I saw it." The man smiles. "Ah, you were a witness. How was it?" You tell him excitedly. He takes notes. "What is a drone?" Wilhelm asks. The man explains. "An unmanned aerial vehicle. We control it remotely. We use it for research." The villagers slowly understand. Not devil's work, but technology. "So why did you come here?" your father asks. "We're studying communities' reactions to technology. Samuel showed real courage." You feel very proud. Everyone looks at you differently now. The men collect their equipment and leave. The villagers disperse. Everyone returns home. The incident is over. You and David head home too. Your father calls you for a talk. "Samuel, this was strange, but now it's over." You go back to tending your sheep. The next day, while grazing your sheep, you find an iPhone in the grass.